Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Art coming at you with another video. Want to talk about the comic book industry, especially Marvel at this point, and just share my thoughts about the X-Men titles, because pretty much I dropped all of them. I have dropped every single X-Men title. I am not getting anything X-Men unless it's an event. Right now, I am currently reading the Sinister event that's going on right now, but I dropped a lot of those books like a couple months ago. And I'm a big X-Men fan. I am a huge X-Men fan. I love the X books. I like Wolverine. I like Cable, one of my favorite X-Men or X-Force, or whatever you want to call them. But I just be honest with you, this Krakoa era has been very stupid. I mean, it's gone on way too long. I think it needs to end. Hopefully, the fall for X is the end of the Krakoa era, because I do not like it anymore. I mean, it was cool when it first came out, when Jonathan Hickman was on the run, and you get to see how these characters interact. But after a while, man, it's just like, come on, like, have some stakes in this. Like, there should be some dire stakes coming from the X-Men books, and they haven't. I remember, like, when I was watching, what was it, Trial of Magneto was going on in Inferno. Those two series did not meld well with each other. I mean, they came out at the same time, and one was supposed to be directly after the other. And I'm just like, why are you releasing stories one after the other? That's supposed to be one after the other. Trial of Magneto and then Inferno. But they came out at the same time, so it messed up that whole story. So you had to wait until you got finished with Trial of Magneto, which came late. Then you had to read Inferno, but the story was still going on. And everything that's going on with Krakoa, so it's like, they die, but then they get resurrected. And it's just like, nothing seems to matter anymore. Nothing really matters. Like, if someone dies, they just can bring them back. Yeah, why not? They can just bring them back. There's no, like, damn moment. I remember, like, even back in the early 2000s when Deadly Genesis came out, when they revealed that it was another Summers brother, that story made me say, like, damn, that's another Summers brother? And then you got to see some of the messed up stuff that Professor Xavier was doing in that story. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But you saw it from perspective of, you can understand why Vulcan was pissed. But that added something to the overall legacy of the story of the X-Men. There was a lot of, Operation Zero Tolerance. Some people don't like that one, but I like that one. Hell, even Executioner's song added something, even though we still don't know what a fucking baby is. But this whole Krakoa era is like straight trash. I mean, whenever you start having an X-Men prom, it lets you know that there's something wrong. I mean, seriously, why are we having an X-Men prom? Or gala, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous. Now, the next one they did, it was just one issue. Thank God. That other one was completely trash. Completely trash. The X of Swords, I hated how they did Storm in that. Storm. Oh, don't let me talk about Storm. Storm doesn't even sound like herself. Like, I was getting all those X-Men books in the 90s, a little bit in the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. This Storm does not sound like nothing like Storm at all. It does not. I'm sorry. They have completely ruined Storm for me. And it's one of the reasons why I have dropped the books. Wolverine has been mediocre at best. The Immortal X-Men, where they got rid of Kurt's religion and just made him into a demon. Or Kurt's religion is supposed to be the most important thing, a part of his character, and they destroyed that. So technically you're destroying that character. You destroyed that character by taking away his religion. You have. And it's one of the most stupidest ideas I've ever seen. Another dumb thing that they did was the AXE event. That was so not worth it. I knew it wasn't gonna be worth it. I knew it was not gonna be worth it, and I got it anyway. And I'm like, what's this all about? It's like, that was uneventful as fuck. AXE is uneventful as fuck. I don't care what nobody says. I do not like that event. Nada. Do not like it at all. But this is the stuff that they bringing out. This is the stuff that they have put in front of the people for us to read. And if their numbers is what it says is true, it's no wonder that the X-Men books don't help Marvel to sell books. It's supposed to be one of their biggest line. They have more X-Men books than anything else they have. And these books suck. There's not one that I like. Not one. I dropped X-Men. I dropped X-Men Red. I dropped Wolverine. I dropped New Mutants. I mean, I dropped everything. And this is like the first time in me collecting comic books that I have not collected a X-Men book at all. There was some X-Men book that I have collected throughout every single year that I have been collecting. And I refuse to do this with what's going on with Krakoa. Krakoa needs to die. Krakoa needs to be destroyed. It needs to go away. Far, far away. They've been on this island way too long. And the stories that they have been producing under Krakoa have sucked. They have sucked. There's no real battles really. It doesn't mean anything. Like, that when they fight people, they don't mean anything when they fight. Other than that, they're eating food. Like, I really and truly hope that once they end this Krakoa season, they get some better fucking writers for X-Men. They have a more concurrent story. Bring this team back. Stop with the BS. And start making good comics again. Because, truthfully, they keep doing this, it is not going to bode well for their future. They're going to have to cut back on a lot of these books to even try to make something. But as far as right now, the X-Men books suck. They are not selling. To me, this is like one of the worst periods I have ever been in when it comes to the X-Men. I'm sitting here getting older books like Bishop's Crossing from the 90s with Jim Lee. I'm looking at their other old stuff, even The Death of X, like I said, Operation Zero Tolerance. I mean, all that old stuff from the 90s and the early 2000s that really did, do something. They tried to make the stakes higher and make sure that they had consequences for their actions. Even though some people may not like some of those eras. But at least they tried to do something that, meant something. The Krakoa era does not mean anything. It is a blip. It is a dark blip on the X-Men history. And when it's all said and done, no one's going to care. It had promise when Hickman was writing it, when he first wrote it. It had promise. But they just dropped the ball on it. It could have been special. Because when it first came out with House of X and Powers of 10, or X, whatever it was called, it showed promise. It sold very well. It was hard for you to find these books because people was like, okay, X-Men is coming into a new era. Good, finally. Let's see where it's going to go. And it fell flat. It fell flatter than a Pepsi on a hot day that's been sitting out for like 15 hours. It's not good, man. It's not good at all. But anyway, I'm just venting about that because I was just thinking about that the other day because I was mentioning it to a friend about things like a week ago. So, it's what it is, man. X-Men sucks now. Krakoa needs to die. Krakoa needs to go away and go bye-bye. But with that, I'm out. This is Art. Catch you later.